welcome to Shootin' the Breeze. My name is Tanya Kappas, and I am a cozy mystery author who is excited to bring you a fun podcast where we answer reader questions and bring you amazing interviews from your favorite cozy mystery authors. Come, hang out, and let's just shoot the breeze. Hi, and welcome to Shootin' the Breeze. Today, I am so excited to have Julie and Lindsey. She is amazing. She writes in a couple different genres. We'll talk about that. But first, before we read her bio and get into what her Twisty Tales and Cozy Crime book is, let's welcome Julianne to our Shootin' the Breeze. Hey, Julianne.
Hey, hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored to have you. I see readers reading your series. We'll touch base on that. It's a Southern series, which as a Southern girl, I love. And so I think that we should have like tons of authors writing in the Southern genre because it's so much fun. But let me get to your bio. Julianne Lindsey is an award-winning and best-selling author of mystery and romantic suspense. She's published more than 40 novels since her debut in 2013 and currently writes series as herself, as well as under the pen names Bree Baker, Jacqueline Frost, and Julie Chase. When she's not creating new worlds and fostering the epic loves of fictional characters, Julie can be found hanging out with her family in northeastern Ohio or plotting with her shamelessly enabling friends. Today, she hopes to make someone smile, and one day she plans to change the world. Well, I don't think you need to plan it. I think you have changed the world.
Oh, thank you.
Readers.
I am trying.
You are. So you live in Ohio.
I do.
So what part?
So I live in Kent, Ohio, right by the Kent State University. I've lived here in northeastern Ohio most of my life. My family's all in West Virginia, so I get a little bit of, I'm like the city person living in rural Ohio compared to my family.
Yeah. And I live right across from the Ohio River, so I'm always in Cincinnati. And so we do a lot of camping up in Northeast Ohio. There's a lot of places up there to camp. And that's just a few hours away. So we try not to stray too far from home. But I am familiar with that area. So I didn't know that you were that close to me. I love that.
Yeah, I'll have to catch you next time you come through Campton. Grab a coffee.
No, you go with us, hang out in the little travel trailer. I sit there and write all day. But also you write romantic suspense, and that's exciting. And it also, tell us a little bit about that genre before we talk about our cozies.
So romantic suspense, I write specifically for Harlequin's intrigue line. Okay. They're just quick little reads, and there's always a girl next door heroine, and she's in some kind of trouble immediately. Page 1, chapter 1, stalker, saw a murder, something, someplace she shouldn't be, like I usually am probably. And she needs someone to keep her safe while she figures. I always make her the brains, since she has to have a brawn. Right. If she has to have a brawn, then she gets to be the brains.
That's right.
And so a local PI. I base them all in Kentucky because I'm in love with your state. And they're always cowboys. If not actual cowboys, then the essence of, the honor and the integrity, and he's always there to protect her. And they fall in love while they try to stay alive, catch the bad guy.
Yeah, those good Southern mannered Kentucky boys.
Yes.
We are the bronze. We are the brains, and they are the bronze. We are the brains. Right. I have a joke here in Kentucky because obviously we have a lot of horse racing here. So we always say, like beautiful horses and fast women. It's hilarious. Although that's not really Brady, but a good friend of mine, his wife is the president of one of our Keeneland racetracks. So that's really cool because she's a brilliant woman. So I love that you base those characters. And I guess is suspense a little bit more grittier than cozy? Is that?
It is. There could it could go the full gamut with the genre, but for the line that I write for at Harlequin, the sex is always off the page. They're on the run, so that'd be dangerous anyway. Yes. So there's a little more longing. It's funny when I bounce between the genres, I'll have my editors for cozies telling me to tone down that last section with an abduction, or where our heroine's in danger. I get told, let's decrease the stress on the reader here. But then on the flip side, when I'm writing for Harlequin, they'll be like, this is really funny, but this isn't a funny book. So let's reduce the funny here, reduce the romance here. And I don't know.
Yeah, I love that, because I do get a lot of readers that'll say, "Oh, I would love to see more romance on the page," and I'm not going to do that. But for our readers, I think that, and also in the show notes, I'll be linking to all of the places they can stalk you. So, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think that you'll find that a lot of our readers will cross over and read some of those as well. So I wanted to make sure we mentioned that.
Thank you. Yep, they're definitely clean, but
that's okay. I love it. But today we are here to talk about Rough Him Justice. Look at that cover and the cat. I know the cat. Okay. Well, first off, let me say it's called The Bonnie and Clyde Mysteries.
Yes.
And we'll let her talk about that in a second. But let me read the blurb about Rough Him Justice. A traveling Wild West show has come to town, and the square is brimming with crowds, chow, and costumed cowboys, all eager for the first annual Pioneers Day celebration. But calamity ensues when the show stars turn up dead at the stagecoach parade. Now, all the most likely suspects are rolling out in a few days, and Bonnie's determined to corral the killer before they get away. Will she catch the culprit or get her hide tanned for trying? Prepare yourself for a rootin' tootin' good time. A Bonnie and Clyde novella, an amateur sleuth named Bonnie and her kitty companion Clyde. With names like those, what could possibly go wrong? Oh my gosh, just that alone has sold me on reading this book, which I want to remind everybody, this book is part of the Prolific Authors promo called Twisty Tales and Cozy Crime. And this book will only be free. I mean, literally, guys, it's free until September the 31st of 2023. So you have just literally time is ticking away, as we've been doing this promotion now for like 3 months. And before we know it, it'll be over. And then after that, I'm sure she's going to charge money for it. So anyways, I keep telling people, you guys, it's free. And also while you're there, after you click the below to get her book, sign up for her newsletter, because I have a feeling that you're going to really, really enjoy her series if you haven't so far. But first, let's ask Julianne about the series and how you kind of came up with it, because it's really funny and it's definitely cozy. It has all the cozy feels that we call universal fiction, which is the stagecoach, the Pioneer Days. Look at the dress. Looks like it's set in that time period that they're celebrating in the town, the small, cozy town. Plus, we love the sidekick fur babies. So tell us about the series.
So this series is, around my house, I call it my pandemic baby. I've always been a traditional author. And all of a sudden, I didn't know what was happening in the world, and I felt cut off from everything, which just says a lot for authors, because we don't really do, our world's online anyway. But the notion that everything was just kind of up in the air, it shook me a little. And I started to think more about what I could do. Publishing wasn't happening, nothing was happening, nobody was at work. And what I do to deal with everything good and bad is I write. And I use my stories to try to uplift or give someone a break that they need. And I couldn't do that if the whole world was just whatever was happening. So I reached out to an editor that I'd worked with and had a relationship already. And I reached out to an audio actress who voiced one of my traditionally published series. And I found out what I expected. Everyone was kind of feeling just like I was, just afloat, adrift, unsure. And I asked them if they would team up and work with me. And it turned out the audio actress had a studio in her basement. She was like, I would love to have this project. I will do it. My editor was glad for the work. Of course, she had a ton of work anyway, but she helped me out. And I found an artist to draw my covers, and we just kind of collaborated, and And it gave me a tiny little family unit when everything was so strange. And because I was doing it myself, and because at the time I worked with an older heroine, I usually do someone who's much younger and maybe her first real love or whatever, but I picked someone that was closer to my age. And I made it about the town and about her relationships and the way, I really went heavy on healing and uplifting one another and community connections and how family is not limited to blood, and heavy on the cat because that's just feel good.
Oh yeah. It's so when you decided to add Southern into it, how did you feel about that?
I always go Southern. But I mentioned my family's from West Virginia, and I know that's not Southern or technically Southern or whatever, but it's so country. And there's just something about that. And I always kind of want to write those tales of all the stereotypes that are actually very true that I love, the hospitality, the laughs, the crazy sayings, and the food. So I knew without a doubt it was definitely going to be Southern. And I just pulled my readers and asked them. I told them I was working on a new project and asked, where do you want it set? And I gave them a set. I picked Georgia and they picked Georgia, but I was like, should we do Georgia? Should it be, South Carolina? Do you want something more? I can't remember what the other state was. Oh, Louisiana, something more like Bayou-ish. But they were in the mood for Georgia, so we went to Georgia.
That's awesome. I go to Georgia about every 2 months. My son lives in Georgia, and I'm down there, and I call Kentucky like hillbilly South, and hillbilly South. I know people crack up, but he is living in Georgia currently. And every time I go down every couple of months, I can see him changing from the good old Kentucky boy to the yes, ma'am, yes, mama, yes, sir, when we're at places. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it is truly, truly deep South in Georgia. So I love that. I love anything Southern. And you can take all the Southern sayings and just make them into so many things. And we love that. But specifically, how many books are in the series?
Rough Hem Justice is book 6. So there are 5 out now. And then this is 6, plus this one.
Plus this one. And so I know a lot of, I've said this a couple of times with, as I've been able to talk with our cozy author friends in this promotion, how I just want to reiterate that people are like, oh, your series are so long. Do I have to start like at the beginning, or I'm just going to wait till your series is over so I can pick them all up? And I'm like, oh, but the only thing that sets them in the series is the sleuth, maybe the sleuth sidekicks, the cozy town, because there might be a little subplot, but generally we hit on that at the beginning of each book. But all the mysteries are all wrapped up in each book. So really they kind of like are standalone series. I don't know how to really tell that to readers. And then they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, because in a mystery is always wrapped up. So how did you come up with because I love the idea that they're doing this Pioneer Days. And so how did you kind of come up with that theme? Like, how did you come up with that?
When you so kindly reached out and asked if I wanted to be part of this Prolific Works, I was like, I need an idea, and it has to be something I can write. I wanted to write it quickly, and I wanted it to be really inviting, something that I wanted it to stand out, even within my series, which is just another day in her life. And, there's different things going on, but they're everyday things. I wanted this one to just kind of be, and honestly, I know that you're known for your Southern everything. And I was like, what's really Southern? What's really Southern? Pioneer Days. So it felt like a really fun way to set it aside, to have a traveling show come through. And we went just crazy with the cover. Clyde usually looks like a normal cat, but for this one, we just kicked it all up a bit.
I love it. I love it. And I'm sure that you've gotten rave reviews about this cover. It is adorable. It is so adorable, which I love the play on words. It just fits cozy so much. And the blood coming out of the cake. And I think that's so great. So thank you so much. Can you tell everybody where we can stalk you? And also there'll be links in the show notes as well.
Oh, please do. I have a Facebook page, of course, and an Instagram, Julie and Lindsey. I have a cozy reader group that it's where we really get and talk every day and interact. And we have a lot of fun, do rereads of books that are already out there. And that's called Cozy Queens. And but that's probably where I'm most active. Facebook, my Cozy Queens. Of course, you can get my Cozy Club newsletter. I try to make that fun every month so that, you know,
I'm
sure fun. It's got to be fun.
Sure. Yeah, definitely sign up after you go to Prolific Works and pick up Julie's book, Rough Him Justice. Sign up for her newsletter there so you can enjoy getting to know her more personal. Also, is there anything that you'd like to say to the readers while you have the stage here?
Oh no, you put me on the spot. New readers, come on, pick this one up and give it a try and see if it suits you. And if it does, there's 5 more. And for my existing readers, you guys make my dream possible. I say it all the time. I don't care if it sounds corny. I couldn't do this without you guys. And I am so appreciative.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Julianne, thank you so much for being here. And we're so honored to have you here and so excited for this series and the other adventures that you've got going on as well, which again, we will be able to link those for everyone in the show notes. So everybody go and stalk her, and we are going to let her get on with her day so she can go write. Thanks so much, Julianne, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
What a fun interview. I would love to thank today's guest for sharing with us their edition in the Twisty Tales and Cozy Crime Prolific Works giveaway, year-long giveaway. So be sure to grab this episode's book for free, and you can do that by going to the show notes and grabbing that link. And also, don't forget to be sure that you follow and stalk this week's Spotlight author. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week on Shooting the Breeze.